Hey there friends, and welcome back to episode 31 of Krastorio and Space Exploration. I'm Icon, and this is going to be the day to build our nuclear power plant. So, to the Kovarex situation, as you might have noticed, it has grown. So, I'm going to explain what I built here. So, we put out just our U-35 on this belt, where it gets fed into those bad boys. If you wonder why this one is not connected, I'm going to explain that in a sec. So here the raw materials get into the machines. Never mind those chests here, they are just, well, I could have used a piece of belt as well. I just wanted to try something which didn't really work out as intended. So what I did here was configuring this beastie to never hold more than one charge, to not plunder too much. So on this one we have the U-38, outputting it on a faraway belt, inputting it from a faraway belt. Pretty easy stuff. I went with a narrow belt here to feed those other two guys. So this is a little bit improvised, so next time I would build that, this guy would be definitely connected directly to the U-35 input, but as you see here, I used those long-handed inserters. He just grabs it from the processing belt. They are equipped with tier 3 speed modules. If I would like to optimize it, I would use a beacon now with just a ton of speed modules installed. Maybe gonna do that later down the road one day, but for now it just works out fine. What I also did was configuring this guy here to only take uranium if it's more than 60. So what happens here is that this guy here won't touch the resources until they are up again to 60, and then we use the leftovers for the uranium cells, while this guy here, well, I had him configured, but then I noticed the configurations are completely unnecessary here, so that's what we did. That's working out just fine, and I could increase the numbers of these centrifuges indefinitely. I would just increase the width of that process. Okay, so we have that. Here I experimented a little bit with a beacon, but I ran out of speed modules. Expect to see more of that, because I felt like I'm living in the time now where these optimizations come in handy, especially with those extremely lengthy processes. Whatever. So back to the plant, I decided now to actually sushi belt those fuel cells because, well, I did like the idea. And now what I achieved is I do have a steady production of uranium fuel cells. My uranium-235 doesn't run out anymore, and cheers. So the longest thing, or what took me longest, was my personal mistake to underestimate that this process only works if this machine is brim filled with U-35. It's just necessary because, well, those machines work like that. They sling in all that material until all resource slots are full. So, well, took me a few hours, but then we had it going. So next time I would definitely not craft those fuel cells. That's why I have all this blabbering around still going on, because those first fuel cells were a grave mistake. I should have multiplied the U-35 a lot more, but I'm not that experienced with with atomic power, so cheers to that. This is only my second atomic power plant I'm building, but I think we will do just fine. Alright, now let's go on a separate bar and place down our materials. So this is gonna be really exciting. I have already made the calculations in the last episode. These 4 guys here will produce enough heat to sport, what did I say, 30 heat exchangers, which will each on their own sport 5 steam turbines. So we're gonna need a lot of space, and when I say a lot of space, I mean a lot of space. So I recently started to turn my stones, which are refined here, into landfill. I mean, the ratios are horrible. We only receive 1 unit of landfill per 50 stones. But at the same time, I feel like, hey, it's recycling. Okay, so first things first. We need heat pipes. The real difficult part here is to... Well, okay, I'll rather make it like that. Let's just start with the initial heat transfer. Or how do we do it? I really want to reach a point where all these heat pipes are somehow connected. Just wondering how to do that now. Because building into this direction won't be too attractive at all. But I'd say before I do the heat logistics, always do the production first and then the logistics. I keep saying that to myself so often, and then I do the same mistake again, trying to do the logistics before I did the production. So one of my most common mistakes in this game. So speaking about logistics, we also need offshore pumps. So luckily, one offshore pump is exactly satisfying 5 heat exchangers. So that's good news. We're gonna be using our, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's see. I want to create at least one wing of my facility here, which means 5 columns of turbines and 5 heat exchangers connected with 1 pump, because that's how it all will work in the end. I see a lot of people also connect the atomic power thingies with storage tanks in between to store that steam. I'm not sure if I really want to do that, because I have a very steady supply of fuel. You regularly do that if you're afraid that your fuel will run out one day. With steam tanks, your machinery will run for a certain amount of time without any fuel any longer. It's basically like a headless chicken still running around. If there's any real benefit beyond that, please enlighten me then, because then I have missed something about these extra tanks I see so often in other people's blueprints. I'm not gonna do these because I don't really feel like I need those. And they will, well, how to put it? I don't want them in my design, you know. Alright, so let's copy that, and let's see. I can rotate this design one time here. And since we only basically need a road of heat pipes running between them, this is very easy to build, I'd say. So here we go. That's the heat input. And I don't think I need to interconnect them, because they should be interconnected all together. Let's see, maybe I'm wrong about this one. Lack of experience, you know. Whoops. Alright, so that's already 1/3 of the whole facility being set up. Speedy, eh? So it will be a little bit more complicated now that I have to move myself a little bit further away from the direct water input. But so since I have to build that 6 times, or now 3 times, much more, I really would like to have some sort of symmetry here. Let's see how that'll work out. I know I'm locked in. It has been really a lot of preparation work behind these 10 minutes of building, gotta say. This looks now so easy, but if I would give myself any recommendation afterwards, I would say start Culverex sooner and just let it run until your storages are brim-filled with uranium. There's no particular good reason not to do this. just what I learned from that. So we should be easily able to bring up. Oh yeah, let's do it like that. I like this idea. Here we go. So now I just need to twiddle around and find a way to install the water in this whole mess, but this should be possible. I really like how this looks. The thing here is we are not able to use the same pipeline twice because it only transports so and so much water, and we already went way past the maximum amount of water here. So let's see, this one and that one, the easy connections, you know. So how far away is any other source of water? Extremely far away. Okay, just wanted to check out if it wouldn't be super easy to acquire water from a different side. So what I'm gonna do is I definitely want to pipe that stuff from here, because that's the most easy way to think it, in my opinion. Alright, looking good so far. I hope I won't discover the reason for other people using steam tanks here, because something bad happens, you know. Well, I don't think so. I think I even read somewhere that people are using these steam tanks mainly to have an excess charge of power, basically, up and running. So this one's connected, and we need power. So we have built a big bad water boiler. Let's see, I think this should be the angle. Symmetry! Sorry guys, I like symmetry, you know. Alright, so this should be it. I mean, all we're lacking now are power connectors. And hopefully, a good start for the nuclear reactor. So... what I don't value too much is symmetry with power poles. Sometimes I do, but most of the time not. So what the heck, let's use the big guns. I do have them in my inventory for some reason, you know. Okay. So this will finally give me enough power to charge up the umbrella. We will be suffering a big ion storm in something less than 10 hours. And that was the whole reason why I wanted to produce atomic power next, because I felt like I really wanted to protect myself. We will need a peak power production of 2.2 gigawatt per second to mitigate the whole blow. So this whole facility here will only produce 1.5 gigawatt. I won't be building a second power plant though. I just plan to build a meadow full of accumulators to soften that blow and store up enough power to alleviate that problem. And that's I'm talking about those accumulators too, because I feel like they are a wonderful alternative for the steam tanks, because accumulators, yeah, well, they keep your base power too, tell you what. So okay, one more sector and then we're done. Really should have placed them down in the first blueprint, and then they would have had they would have been multiplied too. Keep forgetting those, you know. It's also the reason why I keep my plans a little bit wider. Although I think we should be able to research substations soon. That would be cool. Okay, so let's christen the start of our new nuclear power plant with connecting it now truly with power. So this also has started the age of tritium production. So what the? Why is this guy on no fuel? Ah, because his inserter is on the wrong side, I see. Okay, now temperature is slowly rising. I forgot to install heat pipes for the other wings, I just realized that. So let's see if I did it right or not. So the heat pipes are slowly charging up. The generators, the reactors are not at their peak production yet, so not too surprised about that. Far from peak production here. So one thing I'm gonna do though is, which I'm gonna do here, is to put up a secondary save game just in case that my production is too low here. I will go back onto this save game and amp up my production before creating the power plant, because nothing's more fatal than a power plant which you can't properly support with power and with fuel, you know. But if I didn't calculate it wrongly here, every fuel cell has 50 gigajoule of power, so that means this thing consumes 250 megawatt of power per second. That means 4 gigajoule per second. 1 gigajoule per 4 seconds. So this thing, one cell lasts 50 times, 4 seconds 50 times. That comes to a amount of 200 seconds, which is 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Righty, right. So we're producing here, I don't know how many, but officially 1.5, but that's not entirely true. So let's see, 0.075 at least. I know that I'm somehow satisfying that. It's really important to have these calculations running. I just realized that I completely forgot that. So 0.75, was that the number? Yeah. Times, what did I say? 300. How many seconds did I say? 200 seconds. So we're producing 15 here. In that amount of time. 15 fuel cells in an amount of time where I need 4 fuel cells. So my production would be even enough to satisfy a larger reactor. If I didn't miscalculate here. And that's why I have a separate save game. Just in case, because nobody really wants to live where this thing shuts down on you. But, well, I am very, very sure that I did my job correctly here. And now we can see how the little empty fuel cells are being processed. I hope they won't be backing up in any way. That's the thing I should be aware of. If they do, I would need a container where they get stored in between, or install some speed modules in this beastie here. Let's see. But I think we're doing fine. So most of the time we only receive junk out of here, which gets piped back into my sorting system. I only keep the tritium via the filter inserters, which can be produced in 15% of the times in a separate container, because we can use that later. It really looks like the atomic rod from The Simpsons, don't you agree? But yeah, here it starts, you know. The big water boiler is now going online. We produce an energy, my friends. So happy. I mean, that was really quite a beast to tackle. So let's see. Minimum temperature, okay. This thing here is slowly heating up too. So I think the shorter the ways, the better for the heat pipes, but it's only a kind of a delay here. Alrighty, so atomic power achieved. The next thing I want to do is build the accumulators. I already took a little bit of a nosedive into the topic of space exploration, so we're going to be able to dawdle around with that in the next few episodes as well. I have still yet to discover how a rocket is being built, so which parts we need to actually build the rocket, but the basics have become clear so far for me. Just want to wait until the last sector goes online. The basics are pretty clear. We are producing cargo missiles, launch them into space, and with these cargo missiles I can travel alongside and go to space as well. So here we go. It's just beautiful to see them go online one by one, especially when you've put that many hours of preparation into this process, and it's really, really satisfying to see when a plan comes together.
Sorry.
I don't think that she needs to be sorry for taking care of the kids. We're today having a neighbor's kid at home to put some relief to her mom too. Okay, so here we go. It begins. Yeah. We're now on maximum production, 1.8 gigawatt. But shouldn't that be less? So I'm surprised about the availability. I thought I would have less. Oh, well, okay, I had around 300 gigawatt via gas power. Okay, no wonder. So now we have the energy beam where we will need 2.28 gigawatt peak power. 182 gigajoule over 120 seconds have to be absorbed by the umbrella. So, and you would need exactly this amount of production of power to soak it up without any extra batteries. That's how I understood it. I don't know how dangerous that is to my base. I mean, I didn't really build too much on this planet yet. But, you know, I'm a paranoid person when some things tells me, hey, there's a stellar super cannon aimed at your head. I'll be like, I want that umbrella. I want it up and running. 2 days of time, real time is enough. So, at this point, I also started to do a little bit of geographical remodeling. Once I realized that I'm able to transform the stones lying around here directly into landfill, I suddenly was less troubled about collecting them with my little robots here, because honestly, they're just easily removed. So that's why I'm doing this, another rare metal deposit. which I think will be necessary to be plugged in one day soon. Also, I really like to do... I'm storing the wood right now because we're... I plan on doing a biomethanol production chain here, which is basically just power out of wood. You turn the wood into a gas, and then you can produce power out of that. And I really want to try out if I can't put up a little power plant extra. But now let's get back to another topic here. So accumulators need batteries and iron plates. That's really almost nothing. They do store 10 megajoule each and output 600 kilowatt. So the output here can be sustained for roughly 15 seconds and then they run dry. Yeah. So that's really not much, gotta say. We're gonna need the rare metals later. This deposit here is very, very drained. Just doing some preparations up ahead and marking out spaces because I keep forgetting stuff regularly. So, where was I? Talking about forgetting stuff. Almost at the end of this episode. I really thought I would be finished with the atomic power faster. But at the same time, ogling at that stuff was also just oh so very necessary. So, things I want to do until next time. Also... Okay. Things I also want to do until next time. That's more of a sentence. I want to install a little beacon right next to this bad boy and rack it up with productivity modules. I'm not sure if I'm mistaken here, but please correct me if I am. Here I can install 8 modules, and here I can only install 4 modules, so that's really multiple beacons affecting the same entity. So I wonder, it says nothing about putting modules inside the thing and into the, you know. So there's a few things I have in my mind here. This facility will now be, of course, also expanded in the next few episodes. Things I have in mind. I want to use vulcanite refining because we are now at a level where it shouldn't be any problem at all. So my core mining has improved by a lot, which means we're now able to get out more chunks than ever because I increased my mining productivity. So we're now producing 11.3 chunks per second, so let's check that out. We're officially from... well, those numbers are lying. So vulcanite. Vulcanite is usable as an amplifier in ore production processes. And since this whole facility here has such an insanely limited amount of ores in general, I felt like let's do a little facility to enrich those ores and set up my first vulcanite refining process in my whole base. Because with the other areas, well, I would have to replace large smelting arrays, and I don't feel like doing that. But here we can just go for the vulcanite processing recipe here. So let's compare that. With the enriched copper, you put in 5 units of enriched copper and you receive 5 copper plates. Here we input 8 units of enriched copper and we receive 12 copper plates. So basically 1 vulcanite block increases the productivity of this whole process by 50% material-wise, which is impressive. And I want to do that because as we see here, our vulcanite stockpiles are also already brim filled, so there's even a good reason behind that. Also, I feel like I'm not able to use up all the coal we produce. As you might see here, we're just stockpiling certain things, which is not good. I mean, at some point stuff will back up. Stone is quite easy to process. I just need to put up a big landfill facility. No issues here. with those minerals, I have no doubts that I will be consuming these completely once I do more. And yeah, with the uranium ore, well, officially I do use it for this facility here. Unofficially, it doesn't do jack. So, you know, I totally put up too many centrifuges here too. It's really just not worth the whole ordeal, but yeah. At least the uranium ore out of this whole process is now being used, and that's kind of making me happy. So, yeah, that's that. How much output do these guys produce? Together they produce item-wise a lot of stuff. I just wonder if I am able to just plug in another few pulverizers onto this material belt, because I want to use the extra output of my core mining drill as well. And apart from that, yeah, well, you can put modules into the core mining drill. Alright, so that's what I have in mind for the next few episodes, and I hope you guys will enjoy. I don't know, the vulcanite refining process will be a thing where I expect that to eat up an episode tops. And then the next step I also want to take is going into utility tech card production, because I really feel like it's time to have access to yellow tech here as well, because there's so many juicy things up ahead of us which I really want to have. Like, it only starts with more inventory spaces for messy old me. And, well, you know, worker robot speed, for example. Yum, yum, yum. Good stuff. But we also need space explore. Whatever. Alright, friends, so next episode we have our plans set up. Leave a comment down below. Leave a like, leave a subscribe if you have any thoughts on your mind. I'm eager to hear them. Catch you then. Bye-bye.